Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It is week 18. It is DFS. It is Friday Night Lights. My friends Willie Walls and the great Swame Odell Blocker. Willie Walls, do you like week 18, or you think it's like, I don't know what I'm playing?
I think week 18 is going to be full of crap. It's going to be a whole bunch of stuff that happened that you don't expect to happen. It's always going to be people that you thought was going to play that don't play. You got to be very careful with your bankroll in week 18. Save some of it for the playoffs when the real thing starts next week, when everybody's going to play the full way. Listen, this is a very tricky slate. Justin Jefferson is one guy I see everybody likes. I don't think he's going to get the full run. I think Minnesota's going to shut stuff down. And when you're paying $9,200 for a person that might not get the full run, you're not going to take down anything. So,
Swami, if you normally play, let's just say $250 every weekend, maybe more, maybe less, how much would you play this weekend in week 18?
First of all, everybody out there, I do not normally play $250.
$2,500. I'm sorry.
I'm a part of the sniper division. One shot, one kill. This isn't a costume. This is a uniform, and I'm gonna play more like $25. So, in this week, I'll continue to play my same $25. But if you are somebody who plays $250, like old Willie Walls over there, I would recommend you be a little cautious. Maybe play a third of that this week, because this week will definitely be one that will have a different battle rhythm, a different cadence to it.
Yeah, I'm with that. I think, keep it tight. I have no problem if you want to do a couple of $50 single entries, a couple of $12 single entries, but man, doing a mass tournament like this is a mess, guys, because somebody's going to have 150 lineups. They're going to beat you because they have the weird player. You don't have the weird player. So I think people can lose a lot of money this week, so they need to be careful. All right, Willie, let's get right to you here. Let's start at quarterback. I think there's the big three. There's Allen, there's Burrow, there's Hurts. Are those the three guys you're looking at most? Did I miss anybody else out there?
Yeah, I like them, but I also think that Geno Smith is very interesting with everything he played for. I mean, I like Geno a lot. Matter of fact, he had over 3 touchdowns the last time he played those Rascals. So, Geno Smith is a very interesting guy. And I tell you what, you got somebody who I think that a lot of people are not looking at. I might play by himself. I mean, just as if I'm playing 10 lineups, I will have him in one is the Cleveland quarterback. I think he has stuff that he needs to play for, and they're trying to knock Pittsburgh off. They don't want nothing better. Listen to Cleveland. I got it. I'm not saying that he is not a core, but I'm just saying he is a guy that you could throw in there and throw in a lineup that would be interesting. But mainly, it's going to be those 4 that you talked about. I mean, with Geno Smith as the low end option, so those are going to be the guys that I'm really going to keep it tight in that
Now,
arena.
Swami, were you smelling the stink bomb on Deshaun Watson or on the other 4 guys?
Doc, that rascal, he smells like a farm animal. He stinks. No, thank you. Yeah, had a couple of passes to Cooper last week. And I do think I would agree with Willie that I think they're going to maybe come to play. They're looking at next year. They want to put something out there maybe for the fans, but that would be tough to get behind them this week. I would even take, again, maybe even Kurt on the road would be better for me than taking a chance on Watson. And I'm talking about Mr. Cousins. Now, we don't like our cousin playing like, the road cousin, right? Because the home cousin is a different cousin, but at least I trust that cousin more than I trust, dear old Watson. No, thank you.
Now, Willie, I had a question for you. 2 of my favorite quarterbacks on the slate play today, Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence. Are you open to playing the Saturday through Monday slate or the Saturday Sunday slate to get them in, or will you prefer to just play the Sunday slate only?
I'm gonna be honest with you. On today's slate, which is very interesting myself, I like Mahomes, but I really my quarterback is going to be. It's not going to be Mahomes. It's going to be in the game with the lower game, because I think you're going against a pass tunnel, pass defense. You can't run the ball on these guys, so you're going to pass the ball. So listen, very rarely will I say this, but I like the Jacksonville quarterback a lot today, and I think I'm going to play him over Mahomes to try to get Kelsey. To get Kelsey, I think I'm going to go away from Mahomes. I think I got a funny feeling that they might run 2 or 3 touchdowns in today. So that's Kansas City going against them. I just think that's the game theory I'm going with, because everybody has Mahomes, and if everybody's going to have Mahomes, listen, I want to be a little different in this slate.
But the bigger question was, would you do the combined Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Monday slate, or would you rather just focus on the Sunday slate?
I will throw one lineup in there, like I always do. Like I usually do a Thursday through Monday slate, and I'll throw one lineup in there, but that's it. Like a single entry, I'll throw one in, and it's not bad using the quarterbacks there, but on this one, I think I got a great feeling about Josh Allen, man. I think they're going to go off against the Patriots. What happened. I think they got a lot to play for.
So, Swame, that's an interesting question there. Everybody loves the Bills this week. I think they're America's team, honestly, this week. I mean, after what happened with Damar Hamlin, it could have been a tragedy. It looks like it was averted. It looks like he's doing better, which is amazing news. But they're playing the Patriots, and the Patriots still, they're trying to, be successful this year. Do you feel like you can go all in on the Bills because of emotions, even though they're playing a tough Patriots defense?
I wouldn't say just because of emotions. I think they're still a good football team, and I think they're going to rally behind their fallen teammate. I think they're going to be inspired by his recovery. I think even some of the things that we've heard reported about his recovery this week, him messaging the team, I think that's going to be something that they're going to be able to use to kind of get up for this game and go out here and take care of a divisional team. We know they got some history, and I think it's always good to go into the playoffs kind of with a win or at least with some momentum. And so I think the Bills are going to look to get it going this week. I'm hitting in the playoffs.
And historically, listen, he's been spanking them behind. Josh Allen been kicking them in the tail. If you remember that 7 drive, 7 touchdown TD game in the playoffs against the Patriots. Last year he's been, so it's not like Bill is locking him up.
So do you like Allen and the Bills more than the Bengals?
Let me tell you something. That's that thing called that divisional game. But I mean, the true divisional game, I think the Ravens defense, they're gonna try to put a little pressure on them. For some reason, like I said, they play pretty well against him. So against Burrow. So I don't like. I mean, listen, I think Cincinnati's going to win the game, but I still respect the Ravens defense. I do.
Swami, you are the Ravens guy there. You have a choice. You could play Allen. You could stack Allen and the Bills. You could stack Burrow and the Bengals. What are you doing?
I think both stacks are viable. I think I would, if you were asking me and I was, trying to find some kind of way to think about how my team couldn't win this week, it would likely be because, Burrow was able to have some success. He had a couple of big plays through the passing game. I know he has in years before. He put up a 40-burger on a chase, took like a 5-yard pass, 80 yards to the house. Like I could just see that kind of, stuff kind of playing out. And then once we get behind with that offense again, keep, running the wing T and student body left, student body right, the game would basically be out of hand. And I think we'd see, the Bengals just trying to get out of town. So it's one of those where I just don't know if the Ravens have enough to create back and forth fantasy goodness. And so it's just a matter if the score can stay low, if the Ravens can run the ball, then we can sneak out of town with a win. But I really don't see this game shooting out, right? And so for that reason, I would probably lean more towards Allen because I think he's had bigger games against New England. I think they are probably New England is probably more of a concern for Buffalo offensively, so they would have to put up some points. Something like that. Now, I just can't see Ravens putting up many points this week.
Let's go back to Willie's guy, Geno Smith, and let's look at Seattle. Seattle should put up 3 touchdowns, right? We've got Kenneth Walker there. We got DK Metcalf there. Willie, is that the sneaky stack of the week?
I like that, but I also think that the Rams are going to fight. The Rams. Listen, the Rams are not just sitting there like a big dummy like they used to be. I mean, I hate to say this. Now I might have to eat some words. Baker Mayfield looks decent, and I'm gonna tell you, one of my favorite running backs on the slate is Akers. Going against Seattle, man. I love
more than Higbee. Seattle's terrible against tight ends.
Yeah, they are. I mean, of course. But I still like Akers. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna have me a lot of Akers. I probably have a lot of Akers and Marker together going against each other because both one defense is terrible, and Akers has been, man. And he dismissed. And Swame and I saw it, we knew how it was gonna go early when they missed he had a wide open touchdown for about 60 yards when he was just overthrown. You remember that? You remember that? And I said, "Oh my gosh, I can see how this is going because that would have really set things off." But they are really listen. He went from the doghouse back to the penthouse real quick. So I think that knee injury that he had, in the past, I think it's finally just healed, and he's really looking like the Akers that we knew the Akers was. So yeah, I like Akers, and I think it's going to be some back and forth in this game.
So, you like the Seattle game? Do you think it's the under? Is that your under the radar play of the week, or is there a different team that you think is under the radar?
I think it's some teams that's under the radar, meaning they might still have something to play for, or they might still be, out there competing. I don't think Seattle's one of them. Like, they have a shot at the playoffs. These are divisional teams. They played each other before. Geno's put up over 300 yards against them the last time they played. I think the game is going to, again, have that kind of playoff type of atmosphere. I am encouraged by Baker's play, but Doc, I like Anita Baker more this week than I do Baker Mayfield. I'm not sure what my good buddy's talking about over there. They've had one game where they've got out the teens, which means they got a couple of games where they've scored once.
They're playing Seattle. What I'm saying is, at that price point for what you get these players, the players have a good price point. Nobody.
I take the Ohio players before I stack this team. I don't know how to say it.
Listen. I could run Akers. I could run Akers or Higbee back, going with a couple of Seattle players. I
agree with that.
Yeah, but I didn't say playing Baker.
Well, you talking about Baker? Oh, this
Baker is playing better. They're moving the ball. That's what I'm saying.
He was playing better than.
How do you think Higbee get the ball?
Yeah, but it was better than Baker. It's not like better like overall. He's just playing better than him.
They're better than what they had before.
Oh,
you got Jefferson. You got Jefferson. Who's getting these 7 to 8 targets. You know what I mean? So you got some. What I'm saying is affordable, stackable players.
Because the Dr. Higbee game.
Okay, but let me ask you this, Willie. Let me ask you this: would you play Akers over Najee Harris or Miles Sanders, 2 guys right in that same range?
Now, Najee Harris is a man of interest for me going against Cleveland. I love Najee Harris today. I'll say this: I like him just as, and I'm gonna tell you why I like him just as much because Miles Sanders has a slight little knee injury that people don't know about. Okay, so even though it's a great matchup, remember they got those 2 other backs to go with them. They got they got Boston and this their number 14, the number 14.
Gainwell.
Yeah, they got Gainwell, so they can, you know what I mean, go 3 deep. But so Sanders, I do like Akers better than Sanders, but I love Najee Harris. Najee Harris been running like a man. And anytime that you do what he did to the Ravens that last game, you know, he definitely earned my respect.
All right, Swami, we're going to have to make cuts because when we're talking Burrow, when we're talking Allen, if we're talking Hurts, I like Hurts more than you guys do. You're going to have to pay up there. Can we afford Christian McCaffrey, Swami? Or are we looking at other running backs that are less than that in the 6,000s, maybe to save some money? Or are you spending up and you're saying, look, San Francisco wants to be the number 1 seed, but I don't think the Eagles lose this game. If I think the Eagles are going to win this game, maybe McCaffrey's not going to go off. That's a big waste of money, Swami.
It could be, but I want to say 2 things first. First, Miles Sanders does not have an injury designation. He's not on injury report, right? So I have to trust that a little bit as well. And I'm saying that to say that if he's able to run the ball like he did before, he's a man of interest. I know sometimes Willie don't like the snaps, especially when they're sharing. Obviously, he didn't with Swift. Then as the week went on, he kind of came around and he started to like what he was seeing with Swift because somebody was ruled out. I was liking Swift regardless of that person played or not, right?
Oh, by the way, you won last week, that little bet, Swami.
Doc, please. We're not going to keep scoring, Doc. He's going to win a bunch. I'm going to win a bunch. But that one I knew. I knew that one already.
Because we both went off of, but when we saw the one report, when that guy was inactive, that's when we knew we said it's a total go. And I said, look, I'm switching all my stuff over. To Swift.
But I'm just saying, if he doesn't have an injury designation, like if he was coming into this game,
I'm gonna tell you,
I would be what was.
I'm gonna tell you why I said this. Adam Kaplan, who works with ESPN, he works close with Philadelphia, talked about his knee. That's why I said that. That's why I'm putting that out there.
Did he have a brace in the sideline? Didn't we see him with a brace in the sideline for something? I just see I have that picture.
And I saw that report too on series on NFL.com. So I know what you're referring to, but he doesn't have a designation. I'm just saying when they don't have any designation, we still have to consider him. That's all I'm saying.
No. I agree. But if I'm gonna have a cut point, what I'm saying is because they got Gainwell in Boston, you know how they go, how they run different backs sometimes.
Yeah, but Swami, are you telling me you wouldn't run Tyler Algier over Miles Sanders? I'd take Algier over Sanders 10 times out of 10.
I think I would take Algiers at that price over Sanders, but that's because Tampa on the road stink, and I think they're going to be sitting down. The game doesn't mean much to them. Meanwhile, Algiers, he's playing for next season. He's playing to be a starter.
He's got 100 yards from 1,000 yards rushing. I'm thinking that he gets those 100 yards, guys.
I think so too. I like him, Doc. He's a man of interest for sure. Yeah. I was just saying at this time of year, one thing's for sure: 100% of the players are not 100%. I'm talking nobody. So to hear that somebody had a brace or was banged up, we should expect that in week 18, right?
All right, Willie, I know you like a bargain, so I'm going to throw a guy out to you. Jonathan Williams of the Commanders, going to cost $4,300. Could he be 4X? He's the only guy there, literally the only guy left standing. Can he get his way to 10 to 15 fantasy points?
So Michael is actually looking for you. So I don't care.
He's $4,000.
It's the Commanders. They stink. They stink. And they bringing out this boy. No.
No. By the way, I like Sam. If you watch college football, Sam Howell was a beast last year at UNC. He was a beast. You watch. He's got ability. He's a little light up in the brain cells department, but he can play.
Yeah, he up. Only thing he's gonna be doing is playing with himself in this game because he's gonna suck. He going against the Cowboys defense. He stinks. And I'm a Commanders fan. He stinks. So do Wentz. And I told y'all that from the beginning. What did I say in the beginning? Wentz is a thief. They should arrest him right after the game, after the regular season, for stealing money from all the Commanders. He stole all year long. He was a burglar. The biggest burglar that we have in the National Football League. I don't know how he keeps doing it. He'll get with another team and steal money again next year. He stinks. This house stinks. Williams stinks. They all stink. And I'm a fan and they stink. Snyder stinks. The front office stinks. They all stink. I am not playing that rascal in one lineup. Mr. Howell, I'd rather play Thurston Howell III on Gilligan's Island before I play that bastard. I'm not doing it.
Hey Doc, I had this discussion with Willie and our good buddy in Cleveland last week when I said this: if the team can't run the ball and they don't score any points, I can't convince myself that suddenly they're going to be able to run the ball and score points. The example was Chicago Bears. I said I think they had 200-yard rushers out of 16 games. And I said, no, thank you. No, they're not going to be able to do it again last week. This week, the Commanders, they're coming into week 18 with 100-yard rushing performance as a team. Why would I think that Jonathan, unless it was Jonathan Taylor, why would I be taking anybody in that backfield to have anything more than 6 fantasy points when they haven't done it in 18 weeks? I just don't know if you can.
All right, so I guess the answer is no.
No.
I kind of like him a little bit because I think at 4,300 at flex, in my flex spot, I'm either going to have to get like a Higbee, I'm going to get a DeAndre Carter, I'm going to find some rando receiver, whereas Williams I know is going to get the football. And I'm not saying he's good, but I can see 4 catches for 30 yards and 30 yards rushing. I can see a pathway to 10 points, which
that's not gonna do it on this slate. On this slate here, you're gonna have some people that's gonna be random, that's gonna pick up 15 or 20 points, and you can't. I would rather, like I said, Algier is just a better player.
Oh, I'm playing Algier too. So look, you said something interesting, Willie. The other night at NBA, I put up 397 points on DK. I would win a tournament, 90% of the time with 397?
Yep.
That was 90, a night at 420. What?
95% of the time.
Right. 420 something won that week. It was the night that Donovan Mitchell had that. Right?
Yes.
Right. So I put up a big number, but anybody who had Mitchell won. So my question is this: who's the guy this week that we're gonna have? Right? Who's this week's Donovan Mitchell that if we don't have this guy, we are not winning? Willie, who's your guy?
I mean, man, this, because every time, I don't know what it is. It's something about, oh Lord. I mean, that you gotta have, because as soon if I say McCaffrey, he'll be sipping on some Fresca in the second quarter because they got the game in hand and they already over. You don't want to overspend. I mean, honestly, I'm sticking to the mid range. I love the mid range running backs this week. I'm not going any higher than mid range. I'm just gonna have to take my whoopers if I get it because I got to pay up a quarterback. Doc, I'm gonna be honest.
Who's the quarterback? Who's the guy that you have?
I think Josh Allen for me. I like Josh Allen.
So he's the guy you.
I just think that.
Swame, who's the guy you have to have?
You say have to have
to take down a tournament. Who's the guy you have to have?
I think we're going to probably see the biggest disparity at running back, and that's why I think McCaffrey is probably the guy this week. If you asked me on Monday, Tuesday, I might have said Jefferson. As the week went on, and we figured, I just felt like the Bears weren't going to be able to bring it to kind of make it a game, and so it just felt more like McCaffrey is probably going to get there. I didn't like the fact that, again, Connor and a couple people weren't going to play for Arizona, but this still feels like McCaffrey has the ceiling to get there. And if it's not him, then maybe Dalvin Cook. Like it's still gonna be those backs. I just don't think I get it. I get the allure of wanting to play some of these $6,000 guys this week, but a lot of these guys all year long, Akers had a game, but a lot of these guys all year long have not taken down anything except.
So let me ask you this though. And I like McCaffrey, but I'm asking you a question. It's halftime. San Francisco's winning 23-3. The Eagles are winning 20-6. You're now Kyle Shanahan. Are you playing McCaffrey in the second half when you know you're winning, but you also know the Eagles are winning, and you know that you're not going to be able to get the number 1 seed?
Even though I think that's been the talk, I think that's very difficult to do mid-game, is to be able to look and say, unless the Eagles again are up.
Maybe, I'm saying halftime.
Well, they are, but they playing the Giants who are not playing nobody. Nobody. They are sitting their guys down in this game.
Yeah, but I still think that game is not going to be just a cakewalk for the Eagles, and so they're going to have to go out there and make some plays. And I think the same thing for the 49ers and the Eagles, who have struggled. They could still. I mean,
okay, but without Barkley, without Matt Jones, right?
Okay,
I can't do it.
Daniel Jones.
First of all,
Daniel Jones.
I know who you meant. I know you meant. I know you're sleepy, but I know that Breida and Tyrod Taylor can still win a football game, and I know that the Eagles have been struggling of late. I'm just saying it's a scenario. Listen, it's a scenario where this game could go into the second half. That's all I'm saying. And on the other side, and everybody's talking about Arizona and feeling like they've been a huge letdown. They don't have Connor. They're probably going to get walked through. And that game could be getting to the second half. That's all I'm saying. I'm making the.
How does that game get to the second half? That game's going to be over by first quarter.
I don't know, Doc. I think that, again.
With Corey Clement and Keontae Ingram?
I'm only saying because I think they're going to try to compete. And again, we watched that defense play well all year, and then they got ripped up last week. Ripped up.
And I think they're coming out angry. They're gonna put.
They can, but they playing a team that they playing a team that's in a fake punt scenario, onside kick scenario, desperation type time. They don't have nothing to lose.
Listen, I think this team is thinking about Cancun. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. I think they're done, son.
I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to be fired the second the game is over. Do you remember Herm Edwards when he walked in, the game was over, and the athletic director fired him right after the game? That's going to be Cliff Kingsbury.
But if it's that type of scenario, here's what I think. Here's what I'm cautioning us against. I'm cautioning us against overthinking all the games that have that kind of scenario, and then missing out on Jalen, AJ Brown, McCaffrey. We're going to miss out on all of these PTPers, and what we're going to have is a bunch of DO as a result.
I think playing the mid-range running back situation is a great way to play this week. I mean, I see the mid-range, with Walker,
and who you paying up for then?
I'm going to tell you one guy who's going to be in every one of my lineups. I believe A.J. Brown is going to be in every one of my lineups. And I'm going to tell you why. He is 99 yards away from 1,500 yards. He has mentioned that. He and Jalen Hurts are buddies. The Giants have given up. They're not giving up, but they're not trying to win this game. A.J. Brown gets 100 yards this week, gets you that bonus. And if he finds the end zone, you're looking at a 20 spot. Easy peasy right there. Easy.
I'm not mad at that. What you got, Willie?
I think the guy that has not been. I always like Gabe. I'm a Gabe fan, so I'm a Gabe fan. But I just think that Chase. I think Chase could do some things this week. You could pay up. I think you could pay up for Chase. How
about Lamb? Lamb, Willie, if he gets 10 receptions, he sets the record for Dallas.
Yeah, Lamb going against the Commanders. Man, you got plenty of receivers you could go to without going with Justin Jefferson. I like Lamb, Chase, and I do like Brown. So I like those pay ups right there.
You didn't mention my guy Metcalf. Is it a reason you didn't like him?
I love Metcalf too.
No, I mean, he's mid-range, but I mean, remember, we normally can't get all these guys, but we could get them. If we go mid-range running back, you could really pick what you want to do and go up at one quarterback. You know, because
you didn't mention my guy Stephon Diggs. I know you like.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Stephon.
But this feels like a Diggs situation.
So look, Swami, I've got 4 guys written down here: Lamb, Chase, Diggs, and Brown. I literally have those guys written down.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like, I love all 4. How do I get all 4 of those guys in my lineup? Because I think all 4 of those guys smash this week. Smash.
You pay down that defensive tight end.
For sure. And I pay down at least at 1 or 2 running backs.
Because
like Algier and somebody.
I could get behind that. I can get behind that, especially if that other somebody that you're thinking about is in a game that we think is going to be competitive and meaningful. Right. I can get behind. Now it's going to be down to, is it Miles Sanders? Is it, do you believe in him? Or are you going to be tempted, Doc, to put in Jonathan Williams and that price and wind up getting what we call negative 2x? You're going to get a geometry
equation. Here, let me give me a second because I want to show you. I want to see. Okay, just bear with me. All right.
Negative 2x times x minus 4.
So if we get Chase in and Lamb in and Brown in and Diggs in, okay. So give me the cheap tight end that you can live with.
You playing Swame and Willie at tight end?
No. Put McBride in for right now. 3,300.
Okay. Is he better than Conklin?
No, Conklin got a much better matchup. Listen,
right, so let's put Conklin in.
Not the team to fool with.
Who's the cheap defense? Atlanta?
We can go lower than that. Just keep scrolling down.
I think you got 2,500. I think.
Go to New England. Keep going down. New England.
All right, New England. Why New England?
Because it's Bill Belichick and it's New England.
Against Buffalo?
Yeah, Doc, against Buffalo. We just
how about Carolina or Atlanta?
I like Carolina better.
All right, how about Carolina? Yeah, we're putting in Carolina. So now okay. I have $3,800 for a quarterback and 2 running backs.
You can't do it. When you said it, you didn't know what.
I'd have to give up one of those receivers. If I give up one receiver, though, which one receiver can I give up? Chase, Lamb, Brown, or Diggs?
It would be Chase for me. That would be the first one I give up, and then the next one I give up is Lamb, depending on how you felt about it.
So, for argument, who do you want me to give up, Willie?
Before I give up those, I give up Diggs.
All right, so I'm going to give up Diggs just for purposes of this conversation. I'll keep Chase, and now at running back, we get our guy Algier in there. And so now I'm at $4,500 for a quarterback, a flex, and a running back. It's going to be tight. I'm literally going to be playing Willie's guy, Sam Howell, or Andy Dalton, or Joe Flacco. So let me ask you this.
So you're going to have to play in that thing. You're going to have to go maybe with 2 receivers. You could play Rashid. There's a couple of people that you could play. I mean, I think Rashid would be a perfect candidate for what you're looking for. You got to be, because like I told you, you're going to have to live in the mid-range and be on point in this thing. You got to live in the mid-range.
The only reason I did that was an exercise to show that we can't get 3 guys in there. We can't. We're going to have to be moved around a little bit. So that's why the question, who's the 1 or 2 guys that win us this tournament? Why are you looking at me like that, Swan?
I don't think it's going to be a Conklin. Too inconsistent there. The 1 week I did think it was going to be him. The other tight end has 2 touchdowns out of the blue, out of nowhere. Quarterback has been inconsistent. They haven't been able to run the ball. So not in love with that. And unless we got Teddy B in there, creating some type of pace and up tempo, I don't think so. So that looks like a field goal game to me. A lot of defense being played.
So but even if I put a McBride, we're only talking.
What do you think McBride is? You going off of last week?
No. I'm talking about it. In that case, that's back to just the team being nothing to play for. They coming out desperate. They don't really have that full complement of guys. And it looked like the tight end was like the check down or the safe play for the quarterback.
Can I give you a guy, Swami, that maybe he's not crazy? What if I told you this is Joe Flacco's last game? What if it's his last game in the NFL and he's playing for the Jets against Miami, who's got a crappy pass defense? Can you buy into it? And then I could get all my cheap guys into it. That's how old he is. Dude, that's how old he is.
Joe, what do you think?
Hey, Doc, I got two people that you can pay down for this week in a good game. I think Hurts is a decent option going against a team that gets some points.
Who?
And a guy, sir.
Who did you say?
I said Hurts.
Jalen?
No. Hayden Hurts.
Hayden Hurst.
Oh, okay. Hayden Hurst.
Okay. Going up against his old team. A little revenge narrative there.
Yeah. 3,100. I can get behind.
And then you have another guy that I'm going to say that you might throw up in your mouth, but it might make sense. No, Hurst is good. No, not that one. So I agree with that. A Gaga one, what's his name? The guy for Denver, going against
Albert
O. Because remember, listen, things have changed. Remember, Akers was on the outs. Akers was on the outs before, and now he's back in. Albert O, since they don't have any tight ends that they got, and remember what he did last week. They're going to continue. This is the thing that we got to find out. We got to read and do some research to find out. They said they want to get a great look at this guy. This is a perfect opportunity going against, going against Los Angeles, who might probably going to be sitting at people down in the second half because the game don't really mean anything.
So let me talk to you about Los Angeles for a second, guys. DeAndre Carter, if he gets 5 catches and 55 yards, I think he gets 200,000. Gerald Everett, if he gets 5 receptions, is going to get 250,000. Do you look at stuff like that, Swami, and say, you know what? Gerald Everett has 250,000 receivers to get 5 receptions. If I get 5 receptions from him, I'm probably getting 10 points or 12 points.
I think you have to, especially if it's something that, they're close to an incentive. I think it's always good to look at that, no question. I'm just saying as far from a tournament perspective, though, because I think some of these guys can get 5 catches for all of 30 yards, right? So I don't know if it necessarily means because they need 5. Now, if they need something more along the lines of like what A.J. Brown need, and 99 yards from this and that, well, guess what? 8, 9 balls, 99 yards and touchdown, that could actually take something down. I just don't know about some of these other guys being in that situation, especially at tight end, because we're talking about a lot of guys with tough matchups, right? Unless teams are just totally laying down. Those names are Albert O, tough matchup, Komet, Henry, Hurst, Frymouth, Font. These guys are all in tough matchups. Logan Thomas, Kittle, they're tough matchups based on season-long metrics. And so I'm reluctant to play some of them. And that's why I said I'd rather pay up at tight end this week with somebody who we know is going to be in the game and being one that's going to be competitive, and it's my beloved Ravens, and that's Mr. Mark Andrews.
Willie, do you like that? I mean, I could see a Burrow, Chase, Andrews little stack there.
I'm not mad at Andrews, but this is what I will say. If I'm the Bengals, I'll make sure I keep an eye on that basket because who else going to beat me? Swame and Willie playing whiteouts for them? You understand what I'm saying? I'm bracketing that basket. I'm like, look, I know what you do. How about you out there? Yeah, hey, guy, how about you beat me? Because the one thing, and I'm agree with Swami saying this was in the beginning, they did not address the wide receiver situation. And that's the sad part about this whole Ravens thing. They want to get all this defense, and then if those guys get hurt, guess what? You still have nobody to throw to. That's why all this criticism that Lamar's receiving, just like with Hurts, they talk about, remember how he was on the outs last year? This is last year, to prove something, and then you give him a receiver. What happens? The guy blossoms, and he studied. And I think he really wanted to, and you believe in this guy now, but The reason he showed out this year too is he had a legitimate number one receiver. And are the Ravens just going to continue to play tight ends all the time, or are they going to get a legitimate number one receiver? What if you do it with our boy, the Chicago quarterback? You give him a legitimate number one receiver. See what happens if you give him that. I mean, come on, man. These guys got to start looking out for these quarterbacks. That's why I don't want to hear all this stuff about Lamar. Listen. I know Lamar can improve some things, but Daggett, give him a legitimate number one receiver.
But it's not going to happen this week. It ain't going to happen this week. So that's why I said Mr. Mark Andrews. And the reason why, because I don't think Mark Andrews is in a situation where he's going to beat the Bengals, right? If they're not running the ball with J.K. or Edwards, we have no shot without Lamar. And so what that means is the Bengals are up. We have to throw, and they're allowing us to get that 5-yard or that 6-yard on 3rd and 10, and then they get off the field. It just means that they're willing to give that up. Oh, yeah, hit your tight end 10 times for 70 yards. We don't care. We just won by 17. I don't think it's a scenario where they're going to have to.
Swame, are the Ravens inspired to win? I think the Ravens want to win this week badly.
I don't. We arguably have the worst coach in this galaxy. I just don't think you can come up with wing T. We have high school football offense that are more complicated. This looks like Tecmo Bowl, if you remember that, where you got 4 or 5 plays and you can't expect to win. That 11 personnel, the stuff we try to do, it's not even like once you take Lamar out of that offense becomes even worse. It's not possible for it to be successful. It's not possible for you to win in the playoffs with it. You'll have some regular season success maybe, but it's awful. And to not be able to make adjustments at halftime or during a game, and then to kind of sit there like some of these coaches that we've had, and we've had 2 that won Super Bowls, and their offenses have stunk each time, and they sit on the sideline with these arrogant little looks, and they have post conferences with these arrogant little statements, when the bottom line is they're just not making adjustments. We're not putting together game plans. We're not adjusting to what teams don't do well, and we're just going out there, keep trying to do the same thing over and over and over again. And when you do the same thing over and over again, Doc, and you expect different results, you become Willie. No thank you.
Listen,
You didn't see that coming, did you?
Let me say this about these boys. You know, they frustrate me. They would. It was 2nd and 10 with Pittsburgh, and then they just did a direct handoff to AJ Dobbins, and I'm like, dude, it's 2nd and 10. You know, they are. That's why if they think Lamar is so bad, and some of the Ravens are the most ignorant people that I had, Lamar stinks. I said, I tell you what, you leave Lamar, put him with the Commanders. We'll take him with some weapons, with some legitimate wide receiver weapons, and see what he has. Okay. Obviously, he's proved the last couple of years without him, they don't win and they stink. They need Lamar Jackson, but you got to get some infrastructure that's in place besides a tight end and get some receivers to make things flow, because you just can't win on defense alone. And especially when you have your defense gets ravaged by injuries every year, that they get ravaged by injuries. So I just think that
but Doc, we got the least plays in the last few weeks under probably 10, 15 yards. Is it?
So then do we, and I'm with you. So maybe we need to focus on that Bills-Patriot game. Who are the bringbacks for the Patriots? Jacoby Myers? Tyquan Thornton? Like, how do we get the points?
I think Jacoby Myers is a legitimate bringback, against Buffalo. And I'm gonna be honest with you, just like this, Doc. I don't think you need to. I think I'm just gonna play the best plays. I'm not worrying about bringbacks. I'm gonna play the best plays, that I can get, and then and have something like that Shaheed guy for New Orleans, that could pop up for 20 points. You know what I mean? Something like that at a mid range. That's how I'm gonna play it. I'm not worrying about bringbacks. You don't. Sometimes you don't have to have a bringback to especially this week,
Can
week
I tell-
18.
I may lose this week, but I like one of Willie's guys a ton. I think if you play an AJ Brown and a Shaheed, you've got the explosivity to hit 25 points with both those guys. Because if they can get a long distance touchdown, you're making money. Now it could be risky; they do nothing, but it's better than. I mean, I like Jacoby Myers, but he's a 15-point player. Shaheed can be a 20-point player like that. Swami, agree or disagree with explosive play? Oh, sorry, Greg.
And Carolina got a lot of injuries in that secondary.
More importantly, they're playing in the Dome down in New Orleans, and
Absolutely.
where he could probably really have a nice game and have a good end to the season. And there's a lot of good reasons that I think we could get behind that, because the Saints obviously are going to probably, win the game. And I think that he would be a part of a win down there, and a big play from him, and then maybe 2 or 3 other plays where he finishes with like 6 catches, 90 yards and a score. Yeah, at his price at $4,200, I could get behind that more than I would be able to get behind paying down for anything else around there. I think the next closest was Richie James, and with the uncertainty around the Giants now, he's pretty much out. So if I would do anything this week, I would probably have to lean more towards what you were saying earlier, Doc, which is looking for pay down, mid-range kind of situation, value at running back.
Do you like DJ Moore at all? Do you like DJ Moore in that game with Shaheed or no?
I like DJ Jazzy Jeff better this week.
No,
Willie
because
DJ Moore
back. Lattimore's back. Lattimore's back, and then there's no way you play more this week.
All right, give me the stack, Swami. Who's the one stack I need this week?
I think Willie on to something with that Bills, but I'm gonna let him have that one, and I'm gonna go away from him slightly, and I'm gonna say the stack that I might want this week. I might surprise you a little bit, Willie, because of us talking here. I'm saying that because we've been talking. I think a lot of people are gonna stay away from a Cousins, Cook, Jefferson stack. I want to give you something a little different, Doc. I want to give you something to think about.
Willie, who's your stack?
What's the temperature in Chicago?
Cold.
Yeah. Willie gonna give you something cheap, and then if he don't, I'll do what he's doing.
Willie, you give me the Geno? Are you giving me the Geno Smith stack? What are you giving me?
No. You know what? Because we all could go Buffalo. Let me do a little Geno. This will be a little different.
I love Geno.
Give me a little Geno Metcalf action, and I'll run it back with a little Higbee. Give me a little who the guy I've been talking about all game, man? The running back.
Kenneth Walker.
Akers.
Yeah, no.
Akers.
Give me Geno. Give me Geno, the running back for Seattle. Give me Geno, the running back for Seattle, and Metcalf, and I'll run it back with a Higbee.
I like that.
I run it back with a Higbee.
Wait, so Geno, Walker, Metcalf, Higbee.
I like that.
Yeah, that's one of my teams now is in there.
Yeah, that can win something. I like that.
No Akers, Willie?
No, I like Akers. I like Akers. And listen, the way they play their backs, because Akers does it all now, and Walker does it all now. They both can run the ball on each other, but they also could do explosive plays. You understand what I'm saying? So this could be one of those things where you can play them both. So I'm going to have some of that where I will play Geno and the receiver, and I'm going to run it back with Akers. I mean, I like Akers a lot. I'm just telling you, I'm not going to lie to you. I love Akers in this matchup.
And Doc, what I like about that, nobody is over, say, 6,700 in that stack. Even if you put in Akers, that's what I like about that.
Can I ask you this question? How many games has DK Metcalf gone over 100 yards receiving this year?
Not many.
Don't cheat.
Oh, no, don't cheat. Okay. As many up track, I know he went over 100 last time against them. Most of the time he was getting over on touchdowns. So other than that, one, I'm going to probably say 2 other times. So I'm going to go 3. 2. Okay.
So my question is this: the last game he did it was against the Rams. We were at 8 for 127 and a touchdown. So this guy has only gone over 100 yards twice. Is he going to win us a tournament? Or are we relying on that last game that he exploded? Because if he doesn't explode this week, I'm not taking home money and I'm not your rich friend.
Now, it depends on the health. It depends on the health. It depends.
You're talking
on
about Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, it depends on the health. Because if he can't go, I will play a treadmill. What's his name? Treadmill.
Laquan Treadwell.
Yeah.
He's going to run on a treadmill, but he's going to play Treadwell.
So anyway, but it depends. I just think hopefully Lockett could be like a decoy because I like Metcalf this week. I like him this week.
I do too. I'm just saying I like him a lot, but only two games over 100 yards.
But this is the lure of it, Doc. A lot of people do not like to play Geno. It's still got to stick. It's still got to stick to. Okay.
I'm taking a note, Doc. I'm taking Metcalf ? Kenneth Walker play. Avoid the stake. I took a note there.
All right, my skinny stack is Hurts Brown. That's my skinny stack. All right, Swami says pick of the week.
All right, Doc, I'm changing this one. I'm going deep sleep, deep state on this one. None of that. None of that. What you would expect stuff that I think we're gonna get from old Willie Walls over there. You ready for this?
I've been getting the deep end a lot. So be quiet with that.
Allegedly, we can't confirm or deny those allegations, Doc. Anyway, so this one, I don't even know if I could.
Jonathan Williams?
No way. That I definitely won't be getting behind him. But Doc, here's what I'm thinking this time, and I know that it's going to sound crazy. So I'm thinking we could get away this week with a Russell Wilson.
Oh.
Don't do it.
Doc,
Don't do it.
Doc, let me. It's so hard to say, but Doc, remember we was down on our guy Tom Brady, and we was giving him the blues, and we would tell Brady that even when we liked his
Willie yelled at me for wanting to play Brady last week. I said Brady's stack.
We have
said
been
I was
reluctant. We've been reluctant because they have been lined up assassins this year. These guys are wanted in like 38 countries or something for assassinations. These guys have killed more lineups this year. Sir, they were terrible. So hear me out. He has to put something on the table, especially if the Chargers rest their guys or don't go. He has had a very up and down at best kind of year, and they need to go out with a bang. If you like Albert O, if you think Sutton that price, that dirt cheap price, if you can get behind,
he's very interesting this week, Sutton.
if you can get behind Murray this week, it was hard to say, but now it's out, Doc. It's out. We got to deal with it. Well, are they going to go out with a bang?
Wait, Swami, I'm going to do a bet with you here, okay? Do you want Sutton or Judy? Give me the Denver receiver you want.
That price on Sutton, Doc, is just
okay. So I'm going to give you Wilson, Sutton, and Albert O. Okay? I'm going to take
Judy. You can have Albert O.
No. You have to have it has to be a tight end. It has to be a tight end. And here's why.
That's Wall's guy.
I'm going to have Flacco, Garrett Wilson, and Conklin. The battle of the crappy guys.
Why I need the tight end? Because you taking the tight end?
I took Conklin. You have to take
Alberto. Because you don't have
Alberto.
another wide receiver over there. That's why you want me. I don't even know if Alberto gonna be in the game.
Fine, I'll give you Judy. I will give you Judy. You keep Alberto. You can have Judy. I'll take Flacco, Wilson, and Conklin over those three pigs.
Doc, it's two quarterbacks I know very well. One of them is Danny White. We'll talk about that later. And the other one is Joe Flacco. I don't know who I would have a misunderstanding with more. And these are big guys, so I'm talking out the side of my neck. I don't know which one I would want to trip. Nothing violent. Which one I would want to clip or take his parking spot. But Joe Flacco is a nightmare situation at quarterback. He's an absolute overachiever. He made more. All
I'm saying is this could be the last game of his career. He's playing Miami. The season's over. He's just going to chuck it. That's all I'm saying is if you want a Russell Wilson vomit in your mouth sleeper, that's my guy. That's
okay, I'll take that. Russell Wilson, Judy and Sutton versus Joe Flacco, Garrett Wilson, and Conklin. I'll take that. Willie, it's no way I'm losing that one to Doc.
All right, Willie, who's your Willie Walls balls to cause wall?
I'm gonna give you three. Two will make you throw up in your mouth. Okay, one that y'all both like, Shaheed.
How many he giving? What the Doc? He upped it.
Whoa. I'm writing it down. Shaheed is one. Next.
Okay, this other one is gonna.
Who you got?
This
is a big one here. It's a big man doing that.
He had 10 targets the last game, 15 yards.
Oh, Greg Dortch.
But Greg Dortch, last time he played San Francisco, he had 22 points. I defy belief that you can get 10 targets and get 15 total yards this time. I think Greg Dortch is an interesting guy. And there's one guy that showed up that I think they might be something deep on this one against Seattle. There's a guy named Tutu Atwell. Tutu. He could be Tutu, but I'm going with Tutu.
Dortch is interesting because Dortch really, everybody had him last week and he did nothing. Now nobody's going to want to play him this week. Nobody's going to want to touch this guy.
So somebody said he wasn't going to do nothing. Let's
Swame may have said that he didn't do nothing. He may have said that. It may have been thrown out there that he was going to do nothing. It's possible.
I thought he was going to be your Skylar Moore player of the week.
Willie, I like that. I do like the Dortch thing. It's clever though. It's
this
clever.
week, Willie that's interesting this week, Doc, for that.
It happens all the time. When somebody poop all on you, what happened?
And the 49ers are bad against slot receivers.
I'm just saying.
But Doc, his Skylar Moore pick of the week this week is Atwell. What's his name?
How can you like Higbee and Akers and Tutu?
Listen.
How's that possible?
For some reason,
and they're gonna score exactly one touchdown
on top of a model. I'm just saying. So anytime they do that, Doc, I wouldn't be surprised if they go deep and you see Tutu running. I'm like, there you go, that bastard. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
But that means
But those other two picks. I mean, I listen. I just wanted to give one that was just out there. But I just think that Dortch is very interesting to me this weekend, and definitely, I think Rashid is going to be a pillar in my lineups. To be honest with you, he's going to be.
He's core. He's core. All right, time now to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. We will be back for the playoffs for sure, guys. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah. Oh,
definitely
absolutely.
Next week.
We gotta give you winners next Saturday. Absolutely.
100%. All right. For Doc, Willie, and the Swami, be well and
take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.